Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Andy Drifter here. I hope your day is going well. Welcome to this week's episode of Card Show Pickups. I've got 4 cards to share with you in this video. When you think of Pete Rose, as far as teams go, most people associate his name with the Cincinnati Reds. To a lesser degree, the Philadelphia Phillies, but did you know he spent part of 1 year with the Montreal Expos? After the '83 season, Philadelphia and Charlie Hustle parted ways, somewhat on a bitter note. The Phillies felt like he was past his prime. Pete Rose felt like he still had gas left in the tank. In came the Expos. They signed him and told him, "We want you to help us win." That was pure bullshit. They signed him because they wanted to put fans in the stands. Montreal had been an abysmal team for quite some time, and their attendance was flailing. Early in the 1984 season, the fans did pile in to watch Pete Rose get his 4,000th career hit, making him just the second player to reach that mark. But shortly after that, he didn't do much. In 95 games with the Expos, he batted .259. And when it was apparent that the Expos were going to finish in last place once again, they traded away Pete Rose, and he went back to Cincinnati where he finished off his career. In my experience, I have not seen too many Pete Rose cards where he's wearing Expos gear. So when I saw this, I had to have it. This is a 1984 Topps Traded card of the Hit King. It's super clean. I may send it off to get graded. Not too long ago, Pete Rose sat down and did an interview with Vlad TV, which is quite entertaining. At this stage in life, Pete Rose has become somewhat of a grumpy old man. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Vlad TV. It started off as a hip-hop channel, and that's its core audience. But over the years, he has branched out and interviewed celebrities outside of the realm of hip-hop. Vlad TV is a bit of a goofball, or Vlad, I should say. He's a bit of a goofball who does not have a deep knowledge of sports. And it comes across when he asks some absurd questions to Pete Rose. And Rose, a few times during the interview, snaps at him. It's pretty entertaining. Check it out if you get the chance. But yeah, that is the first card I have for you. A 1984 Topps Traded card of the Hit King, Pete Rose. If you are of a certain age and you were lucky enough to afford a pack or a box of Stadium Club cards, and you were lucky enough to pull one of these Beam Team cards, that was the equivalent of pulling a numbered auto from a big-name star in today's card collecting era. Fast forward to 2024, and these cards have been and are referred to as junk wax era cards. But if you are lucky enough to find one that's in decent shape, like this Patrick Ewing card, it's worth a few bucks, in this case, maybe $50, $60. Patrick Ewing, former center of the Knicks, Hall of Famer and gold medal winner. He was part of that 92 Dream Team, the best basketball team ever assembled. That Knicks team of the 80s and 90s was loaded with talent, and man, oh man, were they a physical team. They had all the potential to go to and win several NBA Finals, but they didn't. They kept running into this guy named Michael Jordan. And before that, there were the Bad Boys of Detroit. Now, Ewing and the Knicks did make one Finals appearance in '94. That was during Jordan's first retirement, where he was off playing baseball, and they lost to the Rockets. At the end of Ewing's career, he had 1 year stints with the Magic and the Seattle Supersonics, now known as OKC. He was ring chasing at that point, but he never got that ring. But he checked off all the other boxes that are required for a Hall of Fame career. He was a coach at his alma mater, Georgetown University. So yeah, that is the second card I have for you. A PSA 9 1992 Stadium Club Beam Team card of former Knicks center Patrick Ewing. In just a short while, we are going to watch the heavily favored Buffalo Bills host the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game was postponed once, and I don't anticipate the Bills having any problem with putting the Steelers down and out for the season. I realize anything can happen in a game, as we saw yesterday with the Packers giving a thorough beatdown to Dallas in their home stadium. But let's be real, the Packers are a more superior team than the Steelers, especially on offense, and the Steelers will be without their main weapon on defense, TJ Watt. Now, you are looking at a 2021 Prism, Purple Pulsar Prism of Bills QB Josh Allen, who is no doubt a top 5 quarterback in the league. I realize that if you were to say that, you might get some pushback from football fans who will be quick to point out to his league-leading interceptions. And probably once a game, you're going to see him throw a pass that will make you scratch your head. But that doesn't compare to the weapons that he brings to the table. Whether it be his arm or his legs, he is a one-of-a-kind QB. But he's got to establish some kind of a playoff resume. He cannot end up or go on the same trajectory as Dak Prescott. He's got to get some dubs in the playoffs. And like I said earlier, I think the Steelers season, it's a small victory for the Yinzers that they're even in the playoffs, but Buffalo should advance. And I'm excited to see what Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills can do. Midway through the season, a lot of people wrote them off, but they put together a very impressive second half, and perhaps they will carry that momentum to an AFC championship. But yeah, that is it for this card here, 2021 Purple Pulsar Prism of Josh Allen, a Pro Bowl snub this year. As always, I saved the best for last. You may have heard me say on my channel before that some of the best memories of my childhood was watching those Oakland teams from the late 80s and early 90s. Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart, Walt Weiss. That team was loaded with stars, and they won 3 straight AL championships. All those guys, with the exception of Ricky Henderson, never made it to Cooperstown. They all had the potential, but there were other issues involved. But somebody who is in the Hall of Fame is Dennis Eckersley, featured here on this 2021 Topps 5-star card. It's an auto, as you can see, an on-card auto at that. This card is an absolute beauty. Eckersley is one of 2 pitchers in Major League history to record a 20-win season along with a 50-save season. The other one being John Smoltz, who is also a Hall of Famer. Eckersley started off his career in Cleveland, then he went to Boston. That's where he recorded his 20-win season. Then the Cubs, and then in Oakland, where I believe that's where he morphed into a superstar. It's funny, the highlight that Eckersley appears in the most is not a good one on his behalf. It's where he's pitching to a gimpy Kirk Gibson in Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. The A's were heavily favored to beat the Dodgers that year. And Kirk Gibson was pinch hitting on a bum leg and ends up hitting a walk-off home run off of Dennis Eckersley. Nonetheless, Eckersley had an amazing career. He checked off all the boxes for Hall of Fame entry. I had the pleasure of meeting him. I want to say it was 2017 in downtown Boston at a grand opening of an LL Bean store. He, along with Jim Rice and Louis Tiant, were doing free signings. If I recall correctly, he was a bit irritated at the guy before me. This was not a well-supervised event. Autograph hounds were circling back for seconds and thirds. It was somewhat of a frenzy between the customers and the baseball fans. but I did get a chance to chit-chat with him for a few seconds. He was as nice as could be. Had a chance to take a picture with him. So yeah, that is my little Dennis Eckersley story. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Card Show Pickups. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your Monday.